Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be with you here virtually only, unfortunately, at the opening of the workshop on prevention, preparedness and response to long-term emergencies. I would like to thank the Czech presidency for organizing this event. I would have loved to be with you today in the beautiful town of Pilsen. Unfortunately, my commitments in Brussels don't allow me to be with you, but I appreciate the event and I appreciate your personal presence and commitment as the European Union today is facing an unprecedented emergency at its very borders. Obviously, the Russian aggression against Ukraine, which is causing widespread civilian suffering. Millions of Ukrainians have already left their country to neighboring countries, neighboring regions. And the Czech Republic itself has opened its doors to them since day one, setting the example, like also other member states neighboring Ukraine. I would really like to thank you and thank the Czech population for its generosity in these times of need. Many people have left Ukraine, but there are also 8 million Ukrainians that are in their own country, internally displaced. Many of them remain in besieged cities. They are being trapped. They struggle with access to food. They struggle for health supplies, for water, for electricity and heating. Since the beginning of this war, the European Union therefore has been mobilizing civil protection assistance for Ukraine and its people. We show solidarity. And to date, I'm happy to report that the Union Civil Protection Mechanism has delivered already over 45,000 metric tons of aid to Kiev. This is definitely the largest emergency operation in the history of the Union Civil Protection Mechanism. It is therefore due to thank you. Thank you in the Czech Republic. Thank our member states. Thank participating states such as Norway, Turkey, Northern Macedonia, for having provided that support to the people in need in Ukraine through the Union Civil Protection Mechanism. Besides requesting support to manage the migration influx caused by Russia's war in Ukraine, the Czech Republic has provided critical assistance to Ukraine and Moldova, from medical supplies to equipment, to communication assets, shelter, and energy supplies. The Czech Republic has been the only member state offering 4 much-needed truss bridges to Ukraine. These are just a few examples of your tangible solidarity, and we know more is still on the way. The EU is here, and you with us, going beyond the boundaries of civil protection. We are mobilizing new supplies to meet Ukraine's unprecedented needs. This includes shelter items, firefighting equipment, medical assistance, and much more. We're also partnering with companies in the private sector. Together we are delivering medicines and CBRN items to Ukraine and its neighbors. And of course, it comes on top of our humanitarian assistance, which already at this stage amounts to 350 million euros for Ukraine and Moldova only in 2022, and more again is to come. But dear colleagues, the situation, Russia's war and its effects against Ukraine are marked with great uncertainty. We cannot predict the consequences of this conflict in the longer term. But this is also tragically true for many other emergencies. Right now, Europe is witnessing more long-term threats, hazards, and risks. Over 2 years have now passed since the first wave of COVID-19. The pandemic is still testing our social and economic resilience. Climate change is also challenging our continent in different ways. With each degree of warming, Europe is seeing more frequent and severe natural disasters. Today we are experiencing more floods, more storms, tornadoes, and heat waves than ever before. The 2022 forest fire season is only at its beginning. Wildfires are already being reported in Spain, in Portugal, in Greece, Albania, Germany, and I think also other parts of Europe will not be spared from this very new challenge for some of us. We need a sustained solution for these long-term challenges. European civil protection has to be ready and alert. Our citizens count on this support. And this is why the European Commission is strengthening Europe's emergency response system. It is why we are transforming the EU civil protection mechanism in every possible way. Since 2020, in the last 2 years, we have been tackling past limits of European civil protection by developing rescEU, by facilitating greater access to scientific expertise, and by establishing disaster resilience goals for the European Union and its member states. And these are just one and some of the few tools that we are working on. We've also been strengthening the mechanism financially. Our funding is no longer in the millions. Today it is in the billions of euros. Our mission is clear. We want a mechanism that is flexible, faster, and fit for purpose in view of today's challenges. But Europe's risk landscape is rapidly evolving. The world is facing new and uncertain threats, from cyber attacks to cross-border hazards, from transboundary emergencies to chemical explosions. We also see that they protract. It is over 2 years that we deal with the pandemic now. Our crisis situations, our need to respond to them, gets longer and longer. And European civil protection needs to be ready for all of these challenges, short-term or protracted. The ERCC 2.0 initiative is steering us in the right direction. It will help reinforce our Emergency Response Coordination Center, and it will help us prepare for future risks. And again, more still needs to be done. On prevention and preparedness, we need to enhance our early warning and situational awareness. This will ensure the European Union can react swiftly to unfolding crises in Europe. On response, the European Union must also respond more effectively whenever an extraordinary emergency strikes. This means being better equipped for the future. Overall, we need a broader EU crisis management system. A crisis system ready to tackle our long-term challenges, conflicts, climate change, food and energy emergencies, among many others. Dear colleagues, the European Commission is ready to support the Czech presidency in delivering its priorities. We share the same goals for European civil protection: a stronger crisis management system inside the European Union, and better protecting people, both in Europe and throughout the world. Once again, I wish to thank you for organizing this event. I hope you all have a successful workshop, and I look forward to hearing more about the outcomes of your discussions. Thank you very much, and all the very best.